Today is January the 13th. As you all are still
Teachers,
working.
please excuse the interruption. The first group of 8th grade students should now be back and in your warrior time. Again, all 8th grade students that just came back from the high school should be in your warrior time. Warrior time teachers, please go ahead and pass out the course information sheets that you got in the envelopes. And then at 12:15, we'll start our first round of lunches. That will be Miss Casey, Miss Tingle, Miss Wilbanks, Miss Finch, Miss Hicks, and then Miss Lee's 8th graders. So please follow the schedule that Dr. Woodley sent out and go ahead and pass out those sheets. The first lunch will begin at 12:15 and follow the schedule after that. 8th graders, thank you so much for being on your very, very best behavior. You made a great impression, and we heard a lot of great things from the high school teachers. Thank you.
Okay, so starting out, just kind of while you're copying your homework and your agenda, this Friday's test. It is a 100-point test, and it is on area. Everything we've done since we got back from the holiday. Got to know those formulas, which we already had a quiz on. I would give those graded papers back, but I now would not work this morning, and I couldn't key the grades in. If I can, I will. During class, we'll have to see how much time we have. And then if I don't, we'll definitely get them back tomorrow. They looked really good. I mean, like the formula quizzes and the homework from Thursday. My biggest issue was some of you are still trying to do lowercase a equals for area, and we can't do that. It's going to be like a point off for every one of them. The other one is, most of you might have forgotten a measurement on one or two of them. That wasn't as big a deal, but if you put no measurements on like the whole assignment, then I took off 2 points since it was just a homework assignment, which is a little bit of credit. But Friday's test, if you did that, it would be really bad. Like you would probably start off with a B just because you didn't put inches squared or whatever. So I'm begging you, okay, get picky about what you do this week. It kind of trains your brain on what you need on the test. Okay. The other thing is, we're starting back with math workshop this week. These are going in as test grades. They're easy test grades, but they're going in as test grades. This week, kind of the big, I don't know, I guess to me, this is a big week because we finally found a way to make this look like the lovely ACAP test we'll take in like April or May, meaning the state test, okay? Couple things about that lovely state test. Number one, I like this test because it tests 6th grade standards. It does not jump up to 9th and 10th grade questions like the old test did, which is nice, okay? What you see on this test is supposed to be, like, seriously what we've taught you, okay? The test is not until, I think, April. We really don't know about calculator use yet, okay? All I can tell you is what I know about last year. Last year, you would be doing like questions, let's say 1 through 15. And when you got done with number 15, it would say, are you sure you're ready to move on to number 16? And when you clicked yes and you went to 16, a calculator popped up. And 16 through the rest of the test, or whatever number it was, you were allowed to use the calculator on the screen, on the computer screen. But 1 through 15 didn't ever have a calculator. You weren't allowed to use one. The reason I bring that up is because if you've already done number 2, you already saw that it was easy because I kind of forgot and let you already use a calculator, meaning you probably already chose letter A. Okay. But I will tell you right now, on the day of this test, this would be the kind with no calculator. There's a lot of what I'm going to call basic math that this test is not going to have a calculator. Fractions, decimals, okay? we will have taught it all, but it's remembering it all, okay? The ones that you get a calculator on for this test are more like what we're doing in class, area, and things like that, okay? But I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Last year, we only had the calculator on the computer. We didn't have this fancy fraction button calculator. I doubt we'll have it again. I'm assuming they probably won't let us use these. So you'll have to use scratch paper and all that now for like fractions and stuff. Okay? This one, listen, don't let a picture scare you. Listen, right here it says, find the distance between 5'10" and 8'10". You just kind of had to see those numbers. How far apart is a 5 from an 8? 3. Plus, you could honestly count down, okay, from 5 to 8. The reason we've started giving these kind of questions is we're trying to show you different styles of questions. Now, what I mean by that is, this is silly, but I'm just going to say it. This question is what they call something like number generated or something, where you got to actually type your answer. Not a big deal for a 6th grader to type the number, not 8, type the number 3. Okay. Okay, if it was a decimal, 3 point something, then you would put that. Okay, some of the questions are going to be A, B, C, D. Eventually, we will get into some that it's what they call technology enhanced. It's hard to say, but it's true. Where you might click and drag something. It might be a number line, and you make it the right length. It might be a bar graph, and we got to make those bars the right height. It might be a triangle, base times height, but we got to drag the corners to make the right triangle. That's kind of what this math workshop is starting. Okay? Some of them are going to be multiple answers. There might be more than one answer. I have already kind of thought about that with this one. If you chose 2 answers, you just for some reason did that, I'm not sure that it would, it might let you choose 2 answers. Sometimes it puts a warning up and is like, hey, this is, you can only choose 1, and sometimes it might say you need to choose 2 more. So you got to read. On this test, you got to read the directions on each question. Okay?
What was number 1 again?
So 1 is 3, because I gave you the wrong number, and then A. Good to go?
Yes.
Okay, if you will, click this behind Math Workshop. Click it behind Math Workshop. The key was open up that binder and click it in there. Please don't lose this thing. Y'all want easy test grades? Right there. I would just check it tonight. It's fine. Then, in class on Friday, we worked on this, and I'm just going to kind of talk about it. Show the last few answers, because I don't think we made it to them. We were graphing points, and then using the formulas to find the area. Giving you a second to kind of dig it out. And I'm assuming in class we probably did 1 and 2. Okay. And then I will show 3 and 4 just to make sure. 3, I got 27 units squared. 4, I got 272 units squared.
We did those together.
Okay, that's what I figured.
And then we don't do them.
Then 5 we skipped because it was not right. Okay, so 6. 6, the final answer was 64 units squared. Okay, one trick I want to kind of point out. Okay, base, to find a base. A a base is not always at the bottom. If that shape is turned around weird, it can be up and down. The reason I'm talking about this is, and if you kind of look, I'll point at it and show you. We do not know yet. We're just kind of in a waiting. We don't know yet. When drawing this crooked line right here, if you will notice something, do you see how, like, this part of it where my pencil's pointing? It is not, there we go. It is not like a whole box. That is not a whole box. That is kind of like the corner. For 6th grade world, if it is crooked like that, that cannot be a base. It has got to be some kind of line that goes either up and down on this x-axis or across straight on the y-axis. There can't be any crookedness to it. The reason I'm saying that is not exactly this one. I think you all got that this was the base of 10. That was the base of 6. Getting 16. And then multiplying times 8 the height to get the final answer of 64. I think this one y'all were probably okay on. It's the next one that a lot of kids are confused on. Yes?
I got 68.
68. Okay, go back one step. Did you have 128 divided by 2? Okay, so 11. That's it. That's where the issue is. So this should be 10. I'm going to check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's just 10 on that side. Okay. And if you think about that point was at -6 up 10. So since it was up 10 is why it's, does that help a little bit? You just counted off one. That's okay. Okay. Yes.
Like, I kind of knew where I messed up when I had that, like, 63. But, like, I believe when you put the green,
Uh-huh.
I think that's where I put my base.
Oh, you chose that as a base.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, I had my bases as a 10 and a 6, and my height is an 8. Do you have it written down? Like,
Yeah, I have 18 and 87.
whew, the numbers are so close. That's why the answers are so close. Oh, you did, I see. So you did 10 and 8. I got it. Okay. I guess just, they're called attributes, but just knowing the pieces and parts of that shape, that those bases have got to be parallel. Yeah, I can see why you do that, though.
Because, like, I did that because, like, none of them were right angles. So
Right. Now, in trapezoids, you want the 2 parallels for your bases, and then wherever that right angle is. But, guys, that right angle, you could do it here. You honestly could do a dotted line right here. You know, it can be out here or out here. It's your height is always on a trapezoid. How far apart are your bases? At a 90, at a perfect 90. Okay. This one to me I got, but when you were talking about confusion, it was the next one, and you can see. When I did the next one, I knew it was a parallelogram and it was perfect and beautiful, but I started just highlighting crazy, meaning I went green line, thinking I needed 2 bases. I don't need 2 bases on a parallelogram. There's only one base. Someone asked me earlier, how do you know which one it is? Well, honestly, it doesn't matter. They should be the same length on a parallelogram. So it doesn't matter if you measure that one or you measure that one. I got 16.
I missed it.
And then that height is between the two, which is 11.
Well, I got 16. I got all that, but I got 77, which I think is because I wrote it down.
I think so, yeah. 11 for the height. It is the distance between the parallel lines. So I got 16 times 11 is 176.
I got 11.
Now 11's the height. Like from here, from this green line to that green line. That is the height.
I got it.
Okay.
I messed up because I accidentally put 2 16s.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. And I almost did that with the green marker. The height is, for a parallelogram, is going to be between the two parallel lines, but always at a 90. So don't try to do it crookedy or anything.
Well, I have put 11, like I have my base and put 16 as my height. But
Ah.
it's still not the same height.
Oh, you kind of get lucky on that one, don't you? That's okay. And it's just a height. I mean, it's a height and a base. And it does have to be at a 90. That's kind of the confusing part. Yes.
I got 272.
Okay, go back. What were your numbers you used?
17 is 16.
Okay. I mean, did you use this one? Okay, so how many did you think this one was?
No, I used the one on the left.
Okay. And that number was what for you?
17.
17? Okay. So I'm going to draw on here. Kind of look at something, guys. If you're getting the numbers off, and this, I know this can be confusing, watch a trick. This might help you. Might. Okay. If I think about from 0, which is this line, right, all the way up here, where did I stop that thing? 10, right? Okay. Now, if I think about 0 down to here, this one was at -3, -6. So how far down is that? 6, right? So 10 plus 6 is 16. Does that help a little bit? Okay. Now, if you want to go left to right, go ahead.
I've counted the thing multiple times and it's 10, not 11.
Oh, this way?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me check it. I might be wrong. Here we go. Okay, so if I go over, let's see, this point is, give me a second, it is over -3. Okay, so from here, my pen quit working. From here to here is 3. Okay, does everybody agree with that part? Yeah.
You used the right side.
Well, I'm going to now. Yeah, it's okay. Now I'm going to do this part. So from here to here is, so we went over 8, up, whatever, right? So from here to here is 8. So 8 and 3 is the 11th. Does that help a little bit? It's hard to see these things, especially with all these drawings on it. Like, if I put dots, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Does that help a little bit?
Did you already do triangle?
You about number 8?
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet. Like, this one we're still trying to figure out.
When I said the right side, why can't you, use
You can. You could use this one or that one for your base. Yes, and they should both be 16. They should both be 16. Are we good on that one? Question, are you good? Okay. Last one, the triangle. Now, you could even see I make mistakes, meaning I drew my triangle and it turned out pretty. Okay. But then I actually forgot to divide by 2. So, I got my base is 9, my height is 4, which is 36, divided by 2 is 18. So I got 18 units squared. All of these should be called units and then squared because it's area. And then those good old capital A's. Okay? Listen, when it comes to this homework and this work last week, this week, there is no way on a test we could give you all these different shapes. It's kind of like what we're getting ready to do today. We couldn't give you all the shapes. That's why I need you to do the homework and to practice so when you are doing a shape on the test Friday, you're like, oh yeah, we did this one on homework last week. Our goal is to never surprise you or to catch you off guard, but if you don't do your homework, I am sure some of you are caught off guard from it. Today, what we're going to do is, last week we did, anyway, we would do the shapes that look like picture frames, where it was shaded on the outside, and we had that middle shape that we would rip out and throw away. Subtraction. Okay, today it's going to be a shape or 2 or 3 or something. They call them compound shapes, just like compound words have 2 words that make 1. Compound shapes are 2 shapes that make 1. The only thing is, there is one on here that I don't even need to do 2 shapes. The hard thing about this topic is, what I see and how I cut it up might be different than you. All I mean by that is, if I walk up to an apple pie and I cut a slice, I might cut a slice that's about 4 inches or whatever. The next person might say, oh, I don't want so much, so they cut a smaller slice. We all kind of see these things differently. As long as we all get the same final answer, we're good.
The second group of 8th graders has now returned, and again, all 8th graders should be in their Warrior Time class. We will follow the 8th grade lunch schedule that was sent out last week. So 8th grade Warrior Time teachers, if you would go over that with your students if you just returned. Also, 8th grade teachers, you can take this time to give out the forms and packets from the high school so that the students will have those specifically for tonight for the non-community. Remember, teachers, we will not change classes when the bell rings. We will hold everyone in 5th period, and we will leave over that long and go to Miss Junior. Again, stay started really on the ground.
Now, as for these, okay, couple different ways you can do this. You can do it on notebook paper, but what I've been doing is this.
You said it was going to be like we did the other day. But you said it was a shape of you didn't listen.
What I've been doing is this. Kind of folding the paper like this, and then I'm going to do the work on the edge or on the side. And then I'll fold it the other way to get the other one.
What about the middle?
And then the middle will have enough room for it. Okay? It's kind of odd. I'm going to kind of go down the paper, doing those 3, and then I'll probably fold the paper the other way and do the other 3. Okay? The other thing about this topic is, some of us, it's harder to see these numbers. I will do my best to kind of do some colors and things to help you see why I chose what number I did. So if you get it after I do a few, keep going. But if you're lost, stay with me, and eventually it kind of gets easier. Now,
So this one,
yes, this is the last, what I'm going to call new topic on the test. We're going to keep working with this tomorrow, which is Tuesday, review Wednesday, Thursday, everything, and then Friday test. Okay? So, starting out with like number 1 here. This is the actual sheet in case you are sitting at home and wondering what I'm working on. It is called Compound Shapes, and what we're going to do is most classes I have done all but about 3 of them. Most classes have been, they only had about 3 left to finish. This group, if we have the extended time today, we might finish it. Who knows? Here we go. Number 1. Get rid of that. I'm trying to make it all nice and neat. So the first thing you got to do is what I call kind of figure out what shapes you want to work with in that shape is made of. Now, personally, you kind of got 2 choices. You could cut it this way, and it would be 2 trapezoids. But to me, that's a little more difficult. I personally have been cutting this one right here, and you can draw on it if you want. And now it is a square rectangle and a triangle.
kind of looks like a house.
Kind of like a house. So, we're going to do one shape at a time, and then in the end, we'll have to add them together. So, here we go. First off, I'm going to do this shape. I've been drawing the goofy shape, but you don't have to. It is a square rectangle. I know the formula is A equals B times H. Okay, now I got to find the B and the H. Well, I'm going to use 4 as my base, that bottom wall there, I guess. Okay, and my height is 4 also. Okay, so for this shape, I have 4 times 4, and it is 16 meters squared. So what that means is the inside box is 16. Now, a triangle, the other shape, we kind of have to slow down here and think, well, the formula for a triangle is base times height divided by 2. But you need a base and a height. Okay. The base is going to be this line right here. 4. So you kind of got to take your thinking from over here and put it right there. So if it's 4 on that wall, we know the opposite wall is 4. Okay, my height is 2. Now, the reason it's 2 is from right here. From here to here is 2. You kind of have to look down. Sometimes you have to look around for your numbers, is all I'm showing you. So, okay, 4 and a 2, so base is 4.
8, and then 4.
So we got 8 divided by 2 is 4 meters squared. Okay, so if this is 16 and this is 4, altogether it is 20 meters squared. That's okay. Altogether, it is 20 meters squared. Sometimes you might even see it as 3 shapes. If you want to do 3 shapes, that's fine. It really just matters how you see it. Okay, I'm going to go down to number 4 now. I am begging you to go to number 4 with me.
When did you do a triangle and a square?
Okay, so yes, I still would do a triangle and a square. I would kind of cut it right there. But I will admit there's going to be a situation in just a second. So here I go. I'll admit I usually always start with the square because to me it's the easiest. So the square, the rectangle, whatever it is. I just happen to know it's B times H and it's fast and quick. So my B is 8. My H is 8. Yes. 64 feet squared. Okay. But this is where the issues come in. This triangle base, not exactly. And I kind of wish everybody would just look at the board for just a second, because once I put the color on it, I can't erase it. Okay, so watch for just a second. The base of a triangle has got to be from corner to corner. And if you see this 8 down here, you're right. Your eyeballs are moving it up here, but guys, it is only 8 from there to there. Think about that. It's only 8 right there. What is it from here to here? 3. What is it from here to here? 3. All that's got to be put together. 14. So the base of that triangle from corner to corner is 14. Okay? My height, yes, is coming from that outside number, 12, which is right there. Now 14 came from 3 plus 8 plus 3.
It's 168.
I have no clue. Okay. Okay, 168 divided by 2. 84. Okay. So if that's 64 and that's 84, I'm trying.
128. 5,366.
No,
It's 148.
148. Add, listen. Add the triangle plus the square. So 148 feet squared. It's okay. Stop, guys. 148. It happens. It's okay. Uh-huh.
First thing I kind of did was, like, before I even started answering all the problems, I just went in and kind of added lines.
Drew the lines. That's fine. That is fine. Okay, 148 came from adding my square, which was 64, plus 84 for my triangle.
It's the same thing. It's on the last one. The same thing.
I know. Listen. Here is the reason a lot of these shapes look the same, because you only know, we can only give the formula for area for 3 shapes. So trapezoids, parallelograms, triangles. Yeah. Okay. Number 7. Okay, on 7, yes. I kind of cut it right here. So, base is 20, height's 15, 300 meters squared. So 300 is the big rectangle. Okay, now I need the triangle. Well, officially it's not a square because it's a 20 by 15. But rectangle, yes. Now, on the triangle, okay, if this green wall is 20, that means this green wall is 20. But my height is 10 because of that number. because that would slide over and be the same height.
So $3,000.
$200.
My base is 20 and my height is 10. So my 300 plus my 100
Meters squared.
meters squared. Mhm. Okay. Now I'm going to be honest, kind of weird. I'm going to go to the far right side of the paper now, meaning 3, 6, and 9. Okay. No reason, I'm just, that way I can fold my papers. I don't know. 3, 6, and 9. Okay. Now you're finally seeing 2 rectangles or 2 squares. Honestly, it makes it even easier, I think, but okay. But guys, look at this first one, and here's going to be the hard part for some of you. If I cut it one way and you cut it a different way, it doesn't matter, okay? So like on this one, I personally would cut it right here, and I'm going to show you why. Because when I see it, I'm looking for, are the walls there? Did they give me the numbers? So like in this orange one, I see it's 36 by 36. Well, you know what? The orange one was given to me. No guessing. I don't have to wonder if I got the right numbers. It's saying it, right? Okay, if I go down to this rectangle, it is a 72 by 18.
So it's 36 by
So
36.
that one is also given to me. Anytime they give you one, like they give you the numbers, you know, try to do it that way instead of trying to slide walls around. So I see this orange square. It is 36 by 36. Okay, 1,296. Guys, if you think you have a wrong answer, then type it in the calculator twice. Okay, now we'll do this green rectangle. 72 times 18. So I got 1,296. So to get my final area, you got it, 2,592 yards square. Okay, and you don't have to put the numbers in the middle of the box. I'm just trying to show you what each one represents.
Do we have to do the rest of the homework?
We're going to hopefully finishing.
I haven't finished all of it.
Here we go. Number 6. We good on 3? Okay. Here we go on 6.
What was the for number 3?
I finished 3. Did you get it?
What was the?
Oh, 2,592. 592.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay. So basically the same thing on this one. Square and a rectangle, I guess. Square being 18 by 18.
Oh, 6, right?
Yeah. And rectangle being 18 by 30.
You forgot the A equals.
Yeah.
A equals
Is that what you're saying? Oh, the formula. Yeah, I just started spitting out things, didn't I? It happens. Even to me. A equals base times height. A equals 18 times 18. Very good. Sorry.
36.
Wait a minute. Don't add them. Don't add them. 18 times 18.
324.
Yes. Inches squared. Now we'll do the long rectangle. $30 times 18.
Maybe
540.
Okay, 864.
So adding it all together, yes, 864 inches squared. Okay. If moving the walls around was not your favorite thing back on like number 1, 2, or 3, or going down the paper, number 9, you might want to stick with me on. It's still like 9 is not any harder. It is still a big rectangle and a triangle, but it's sliding that wall over to get the correct base that is the problem. So, if I cut it right here, I have this rectangle. Now, what is the numbers that go with this rectangle?
25 and 15.
25 and 15, right. So, this 25 goes with this 15. Okay. Because it did. And that is 375 feet squared. Okay. Now, the part is this triangle. You kind of have to slow down and say, well, here's the thing. From here to here is how far? The orange. 15. So from here to here is 15. Okay? But I still need these two little things sticking off right here. And they are both 2.5 or 2.5. So 15 plus that would be 20. Right. So the whole base from here to here would be 20. And the height is 15. The height is right there. It's 15. So 20 by 15. We are waiting on an announcement, guys. Divide by 2. 150. So 150 plus 375. Yes. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to kind of go down the middle, but I was kind of able to fit those because I didn't do these. So when I go down the middle, I can kind of fit them on there. Here we go. Start with number 2. Yeah, these, once you've done the triangle ones, you're like, oh, this is easy. Like, these are the easier ones. Okay. Starting out, this square is a 6 by 6. Okay. Yes, you could cut it right here too. Either way. I just have been using this method because the numbers are already given to me. So there's a 12, there's a 6, and I know that rectangle is 12 times 6. I mean, you do not have to cut it the same way I do. It's just that in the end, we all need to get 108 inches squared. So as long as you got that, it's fine. It does not matter which way you cut it. I'll admit, if you draw that line, it does kind of help me get in your brain. If you're given if I'm grading a paper and I'm wondering where you pulled the numbers from, it does help me if you draw that line. To get in your brain. Figure out why you got it right or wrong. Well, that's with your writing and what you give me half the time. Okay, on number 5, here we go. You can kind of do this one 2 different ways. You could cut it this way or cut it this way. This is the easy way, or at least I think it is. Because this side is 14 and this side's 14. And this side is 16 and this side is 17. So, showing me all the math. Here we go. I'm going to do this one first. 272? Okay. Got it. Okay, then we'll do the green one.
196.
Cool. 7, 8.
460.
Sitting there carrying in the air. Can y'all see me? Okay.
Say 196.
Yes, 196. Now, the weird one is number 8. Okay, before I move on to it, this is the one that I wish all of you would watch.
So is it saying that line should be straight?
No. On number 8, okay, there's kind of 3 different ways you can do this shape. And I wish you'd kind of look, because I'm going to kind of fold this down and draw. You don't have to, just kind of watch. This just kind of helps. On number 8, just watch. Like, don't worry about folding it down, just watch. On number 8, you could do this. Guys, I really need your eyeballs up here, because this will help you see what I see. Okay. You could find the outside rectangle all the way around. And then you could just get rid of this, which is a triangle. So you could subtract. Okay? Or, it's kind of weird, you've got this shape. I'm trying. Okay. You could kind of think of this thing as a triangle and a square rectangle. Okay. But the last thing I want to show you is sometimes these shapes don't have to be 2 shapes. You all have been taught in extra formula that this worksheet they don't know that you know it. Meaning, what if I just take my shape and I cover up that corner? What shape is that? A trapezoid. I really don't need I don't need to add 2 numbers if I can figure out my trapezoid. So kind of look for just a second. What if I made, I know I need 2 bases. So this is a base, which is what number?
18.
18. Now, the other railroad track with that 18 would be right here.
And it'll be 8.
Okay, now slow down. 8 is from here to here. So 8 is from here to here. But we know from here to here is 18. 10. This is a 10. Think about it. 10 plus 8 would give me the full 18. And what is my height? My height has to be that perpendicular line up between the 2 bases. 10. You got it. So for this one, if you know the trapezoid formula, to be honest, you didn't really need 2 different shapes. So I'm just going to do the formula of A equals the B1 plus B2 times the height over 2. Okay, my 2 B's are 18 and 10. Oops. My height is 10. A equals 28 times 10, 280, divided by 2. A equals 140. But if you had made it like a rectangle and triangle and put it together, you still should have gotten 140. It doesn't matter which way you do it. Okay? You all are lucky. You got done now. Okay? Basically, please click this behind whatever category.
So you still have to check it tomorrow.